Right now we have a very special guest in the room. Yeah, that's about all I got. No.
Coming to the stage!
His name is Larry Mohrmann, and he does the Retro Gamers Podcast. Yay! There he is.
Everybody.
And if you're watching on TV, you can see him.
Yeah.
He's the guy in the green shirt, not the one with the red hair.
Guy. Wow.
I was going to say, she's got the green shirt.
I was going to say, he just
The
called
lighter
you what-
green shirt without the red hair.
All right.
Well, Larry's here to promote that he's going to be at the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo in Uniondale, New York. What dates are those?
August 9th, 10th, and 11th. Like Ira said, at the Cradle of Aviation right across from Nassau Coliseum. We're going to be there again. We have a table in the back room. So, not prime real estate, but we're going to be there anyway. And if I'm sitting next
You'll
to
find
Pat,
him.
If I'm going to be next to Pat the NES Punk, it might be a very interesting episode to listen to
Okay.
when we record from there. Get your tickets right now, liretro.com. Come join us. We always have a great time every year. You guys were there last year.
We were there
You
last
saw how
year.
fun
Yep.
it was.
Yeah.
So, definitely come down, join us, and just have a ball playing some old video games.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really cool place, and I've been there a few times for a few conventions, and I've used their IMAX theater and all that and everything. But the coolest part about that place is, like, yes, you're going to a convention, and it's awesome. However, there is also an aeronautics museum.
Yes.
So when you get tired of walking around and buying stuff from the tables, or it's a little crowded or whatever, you can just go poke around and look at World War II planes, and it's freaking mind-blowing.
There is a back room filled with video games, and they're all free. And then you're walking around and go, why is there like an F-14 Tomcat just from the... It's amazing.
And then all of a sudden you look down and you're like, hey, look, Frogger. Awesome, let's go. Yeah.
Got hit by a plane.
My dad was there my parents came to visit a couple years ago, and my dad's a Vietnam veteran, and he was like, he totally forgot that there was a gaming convention.
Right, yeah,
All he
yeah.
saw was the Blue Angels, I think it's Blue Angels, playing up there, hanging from the ceiling. He's like, all right, I'm good. I'm like, all right, see you in a while, Dad.
I paid to get in to see that, damn it. So now I'm going to get inside it. Right? Show you kids how this works.
He'll boot it up.
Now, I want to talk about your podcast. And you talk about retro game. That's like a big thing now.
It really is, and it probably became even a bigger thing than it has been probably in the last 3 or 4 years. It's really taken off. I remember personally, the first time I even remember anything retro was actually in college.
Yeah.
So it's like 98, 99. I was in the dorm. I'm walking down the dorm, and I'm like, I hear something out of my friend's dorm room that's okay
Hold
to
on.
listen to. And I'm like,
Oh,
why does
not
that
that
sound
one. Okay.
familiar? And all of a sudden, you hear like, dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, that's Zelda.
Right.
And I'm like, on the NES. And that was the first time I saw anyone like break out an old school system.
Yeah.
But like I said, just recently, the last 3 or 4 years, companies are now like purposely making new games to look like old ones. All the ones that are getting re-released from back in the day, like they just came out the Jurassic Park games from the NES, Super NES, and
yes.
all them. Even bad ones like Bill and Ted's Excellent Video Game Adventure, which was atrocious,
Awful.
and the worst game of all time from the 3DO, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
Oh, boy.
Was
Wait,
just
oh,
re-released.
There's a
Boy.
game called Plumbers Don't Wear... They
Yes.
couldn't get Mario Brothers, so they
No,
did that? What?
It came out like in probably like the mid 90s when the 3DO was out, and it's meant to be like this full motion video game, but it's all stills.
They lost their budget like right beforehand.
No, not even. They just didn't really put much effort into it. It was deemed the worst game of all time. But Limited Run,
I hit that one.
Limited Run just purposely re-released it. They're like, look, even a bad game has to like stay in the annals of history.
Right.
And fun fact, the girl who's the lead in that game was Hollywood from Glow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I remember.
original
Oh, my
Glow.
God, I do remember.
The original Glow.
The Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Crazy.
Yep, Hollywood
See,
and Vine.
it always comes back to that.
But
Yeah.
there's nothing better than old school gaming to me. It's just so simple.
And the Retro Expo is amazing because they have everything. They start with board games. If you go upstairs, there's D&D competitions. There's like Scrabble competitions.
Tetris.
They had that entire thing.
10 versions of Tetris from all around the world, which I was...
And they
freaking
start with
obsessed
Pong, and they work their way up to now.
Chronological
pretty much.
order, yeah.
Exactly. They're showing you that. And you can buy like anything there. Sean, what did you buy last year?
I bought a bunch of WWF Genesis games, even though I don't have a Genesis, but I collect wrestling merchandise, so
Those
I
are
bought
good
them
covers,
for shits.
too.
They
They're
were
nice
awesome.
covers,
That was
yeah.
specifically the reason why I bought them. I'm like, these are cool-ass clamshells. I forgot about these.
Did you buy the 32X Raw game?
No, not yet.
You know, it's the only
Not
reason.
yet.
The only reason to buy that one is because of the special character.
Yeah.
Which is
Quang.
Yeah.
Quang?
That was the special character.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know we're deep diving, folks.
No,
but
totally.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a
yeah.
duck with an accent. Here he comes, Quang.
Especially who played him.
Now, okay, Pickles, what was your first gaming system?
Super Nintendo.
Mo?
The Sega Master System.
Nice.
Sean?
Mine was the NES. Technically, my parents' was the ColecoVision.
Oh, I remember that
I actually
too.
still have it.
Larry?
Atari. I'm going Atari. I'll say 7800.
Yeah, I
And
had the
then
Atari also.
Then the NES.
So now all these you can get, like you said, they're being re-released, repackaged. But what's the difference? Like, I still remember, like you said, difference between one joystick, one button, and now where it's 6 buttons, 2 on the outside, and you're like, how do they can they update, like, the old games? I'll use, like, Pitfall or something like that, and bring it up to date?
Well, here's the thing. Maybe not the game itself, but the systems they can.
Yeah.
So they have these, what I like to call clone systems. Companies like Analog and, it just lost. I can't think of the name of the other one.
Aw.
But Analog, it'll come to me. Hyperkin, there we go.
Ta.
Analog, I call like the Ferrari of the clone systems. They're high-end, they're pricey, but it's just like having the original systems. Whereas Hyperkin is the Kmart of the clone systems. A little cheaper, emulated, but it still works. So it's more about the console as opposed to the games. Reason why I say that, just recently, actual Atari, put out what's called the 2600 Plus, which is a modern version of the original Atari 2600 that plays original hardware games.
Oh, wow.
But what's the controller
No,
look like?
exactly.
Yeah.
The same controller, but it plugs into the modern televisions. That's what it's all about. These TVs, they don't have composite
Right.
and component
Yeah.
anymore. So now these systems allow HDMI. So that's why I think it's more about the console. And I would like if Nintendo put out like a new HDMI NES to play original cartridges.
Right.
That they'd be making money hand over fist.
Yeah.
I mean, they already are, but it would be amazing to see that. But still, the old time, it's all about the old controller. You can find there's other controllers out there, like third parties in there. I've had my share of weird controllers, even back in the day, like the N64. We all remember what the N64 controller looks like.
Yeah.
My opinion, best controller design of all time, and
Right.
people will
Absolutely.
fight me on that.
Yeah.
But like, I remember having like a third party controller that was shaped like a more traditional.
Was it from Mad Cats?
It might have been from Mad Cats, actually. I think it was the only company back then.
No.
Okay, you
was,
two are the only
yeah.
ones who are laughing on that
Yeah.
one.
Remember that?
Listen, anybody listening who knows video games, they're laughing at that too, so it's fine.
And you should watch Larry on the Retro Gamers podcast
exactly.
as well.
Thank you. Yes, every Tuesday, myself and my buddy Anthony Rippo, we talk about games of yesterday. We've known each other for almost 30 years, and we reminisce. We're not going to teach you anything new, but you're going to feel like you're part of the conversation.
But
That's
I
what we're
want a
talking
cheat code for my new game.
Oh, okay.
We'll still give those out every now and again.
Up,
Okay,
down,
there
down.
you
Left, right, BA, select,
There you
start.
go.
There you go. There you
And join Larry at the historic Cradle of Aviation Museum on August 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Exactly. And one more thing I'll throw out real quick, and then I'll stop hijacking your show. What's cool, and this is just my love. Trust me, I don't work for the Long Island Retro Gaming. I just love what they do.
Yeah.
And they got this cool new thing that if you, it's like a VIP package, and part of it, while supplies last, they made a custom VMU case for the Dreamcast memory cards.
You have
So if you remember kind of what the
show
Dreamcast
it
memory
to
cards
Right.
looks
the
like.
camera.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the camera, duh.
We're on camera.
You would think, because I film every
Right.
Get it
week
closer.
as well.
There you go.
And it's gonna be a custom Long Island Retro Gaming console.
That's very cool.
VMU case, because I think every system kind of has its moment to
Right.
come back with these old school stuff. And I think next is going to be Dreamcast, Saturn.
Ooh,
I think
nice.
the
Okay.
CD-based
Wow.
games
Yeah,
are
yeah.
going to start hitting.
Well, once everybody starts hitting their semi-midlife crisis, that's when those systems pop off.
Why do you think
that's
I'm doing this
why,
now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same. That's why NES, SNES, all of those,
Totally.
totally popped off. But like those other systems, yeah, give it another 15 years, and everybody will be gooing over PlayStation. They're
forget
like,
about
oh, man, remember? And yeah, totally.
I have to ask because last year, and I think you've always done it, you always have a system at your table,
Yes.
and you always pick some game, and high score wins a prize. What's the game this
So,
year?
we haven't decided yet.
So sorry for asking.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Way to put him on the spot there, buddy.
We are going to have a system there because we do bring between me and Anthony, we have some not like old school like systems you haven't seen in 100, just odd ones.
Yeah.
And I'll give you guys the inside scoop on it. What I'm going to bring with me this year is I have this giant Capcom arcade stick.
Oh, wow.
That's like as
Sure,
long as this
brag
table-
about it.
No, it's like I don't know, like 3 feet or 6 feet long or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's the ugliest goddamn thing you've ever seen because it's shaped like the logo Capcom.
Oh, God.
And it says Capcom on it.
Okay.
And the buttons mix in like you really can't see. But there's like
a little weird.
there's 16 games on it, some of which have never been released
wow.
on home like Alien vs Predator. The
Yes.
arcade game is only available on this console that I had to import from England.
Oh, wow. That's
So
cool.
I'll have that. People will play around with it. I'll, for the most part, let people play. I have to find the sanitation to wipe it down every now and again.
We'll get that done for you.